Hello and welcome to our Bargello plant pot videos. In the next few videos I'm going to go through all the steps to create your very own Bargello plant pots just like these. So to start, you will need to choose your colourway. We have the Bargello charts here on the back of your instructions. These show the 3 colourways you can make with the wools you have, or you could design your own. These are basically kind of picture instructions showing you all the stitches you need to make these designs and the kind of colours that they go in. This is a full height version of the plant pot and 1/3 of the width. So you'll need to repeat this pattern 2 more times to get your full width. So to work out which yarn you're starting with, you need to look at the bottom left-hand corner of the design that you've picked. So I've picked this one here, so I will look at the bottom left-hand corner and see that it's a red, so I know that the first yarn that I'm going to be using is red. So this is your plastic canvas for your plant pot, and this is cut to size. I'm also going to grab my first colour of yarn. In my case it's the red yarn, and I've cut about 1 metre off of my yarn and I've threaded it onto my needle. I'm leaving about a 2-inch tail at the top here just to kind of hold it secure, and I've not put a knot at the bottom. We're going to secure it on the canvas in another way, so I'm just going to leave that completely loose. So we're going to start in the bottom left-hand corner of our canvas. So we're starting down here. And from this very bottom corner square here, we're going to count up to 1, 2, and then we're going to count in 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is our starting box here, and we're actually going to come through from the back of that box there. I'm going to pull it all the way through until I've got about 1-inch tail on the back. So a little bit longer. There we go. And we're going to secure that with some other stitches. So when thinking about our stitches, they're often kind of written down as threads. So if you were looking at a Bargello book, they call them threads, so that each stitch is 4 threads long. And what they mean is that when these plastic pieces were actually canvas, these kind of crosses, horizontal and vertical lines would be threads. So they count a thread as this horizontal line, this horizontal line, this horizontal line. So if you had 4 threads, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go back into that box there. So you're counting these horizontal lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that would be a 4-thread stitch. I, however, prefer to kind of count it as the empty boxes I'm leaving in between. And that's always 1 less than what it says the thread is, the thread count. So I would normally, if I had a 4-thread stitch, I would count 1, 2, 3 and go back into the 4th. So there's the box that my thread came out. 1, 2, 3, and then I go back into the 4th. So my stitch will cover 3 empty boxes, and I'm going to pull that right down. And that is our first stitch. Just like that. So this is all explained on your sheet, counting threads. So what we've done there is we've just done exactly what's here. That's our 1, 2, 3, 4 threads. These are our horizontal threads. 1, 2, 3 empty boxes. And for this pattern here, you're mostly using just 4 threads. So exactly what we've just done. So let's go ahead and continue our pattern. So you'll notice, if I'm using my right pattern here, that there are 3 stitches next to each other of the same length. So we need to do 2 more right on the right hand side of this stitch, exactly the same. So let's turn it over and we'll go back in to the back here. So what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to start stitching over this tail to secure it. So I'm just going to lie that flat on the back here. This is the back side of the canvas. And then I'm going to go into this square here, so right next to my first stitch. In there, pull that all the way through. Flip it back over to the front. I know it's going in the same one, but we can count 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, even length stitch as the first one. Pull that all the way through. And then another one at the back as well. Again, I'm going to start covering this tail on the back here. There we go. And then into the same bit on the front. There we go, that's our first 3 stitches. You can see that they correspond with these stitches here on the chart. So now what we need to do is, looking at the chart, we can see it steps up a little bit. So I'll pull this closer for you. You can count actually the boxes on here, and you can see that it actually goes over a couple of boxes. So our next stitch is going to be in not the same one as the first, not the next one, but the next one. So it's actually right in the middle of this stitch. So we're going to put our next one in here. So not in the one it was in, not in the next one, but the next one. So we look on the back, what we can do is we can count up, not the bottom one, not the next one, but the next one. So this middle one here, so that's our one that our stitch was in before, not the next one, but it's the next one. So it's right in the middle of that stitch, you can see. Just pull that through. And we know that our stitch length is the same. So again, we're going to count 3 boxes or 4 threads. 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th. Same stitch length as before, just in a different place. And this is going to start our kind of gradient pattern we've got here. So there we go. And again, you'll notice from the chart we've got 2 of them. So let's go ahead and do another. There we go. So you can see that we've got 3 and then 2. And then you'll see on the chart here that it goes up again. It's another step up. And then it carries on doing that for 4 stitches. The same step each time, and it's the same step that we just did here. So not the bottom one, not the next one, but the next one. So let's do that 4 times going up in a step. Yeah, be careful, you're going into the right stitch there. I nearly did the wrong one. So just right out. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's us now at the peak of our pattern here. So this is the top stitch, and you'll notice on the back we've actually covered our tail a little bit, so that's trapped in there. You can snip off that edge there. And now we're going to be coming back down again in the same form to create the rest of the pattern. Now, as you'll notice here, we do have a stitch order, and you can have a wee look at that. So instead of just kind of doing things randomly, we are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it's slightly different on the way down again. So you can have a look at the stitch order on your chart, and you'll notice it says red for up through the back, and then green from down through the front. So that's pretty self-explanatory there, so have a wee look at that for your stitch order. But now I'm just going to go ahead and finish off my pattern on here in red, and then I'll come back and show you how to kind of carry on your pattern across the canvas.